All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Hajime no Ippo, Season 3, Episode 11.
All right, this fight's going
Ryuhei.
down.
Oh boy.
It's going down, yep.
It's going down, and we have the backstory locked and loaded in our arsenal, so we know exactly what's at stake here.
Yep.
Okay.
This contextualizes a lot more with regards to Ryuhei's character, and it is going to be quite important that Ippo does actually beat him here. Because he will continue on this path as long as he's a scared boy that remembers what it was like to have a father that was like that.
Yeah.
Thus, he can put, in some ways, without even necessarily realizing it, that trauma onto whoever he is seeing as a threat, and then tear them apart.
So Ippo beat the shit out of him so hard that anytime he thinks about, taking a punch, it's you.
Yeah. No longer his dad.
God.
So, yeah. That's what we have to look forward to. And then this guy also does not play by the rules, so that's its own problem. And Ippo has not really got much that he can do against this other than by sticking to his basics, which is pretty much a coin toss at that point, and 2 executions.
But we know that he's not going to hold to that for very good reasons.
Ippo.
For very, very good reasons.
Ippo,
so,
my boy.
Yeah.
Come on.
This is going to be great.
So,
It's going to be fine.
Without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
Well,
all right, that's a good opening bit for this fight.
Yep.
3 rounds. I can understand how he is a solid counter to Ippo's strategies.
He's got a gun.
Yep.
Like that. Yeah. There you go.
And he has a lightning right counter, which is the, you went past defense layer number 1?
Cool. Here's defense layer number 2. Right.
Yep.
And in order to get past the first layer, you have to set yourself up for the second layer. Like, it's great. I love it. And
it's very mechanical, actually.
It is very mechanical. And as far as a reason to then use the anime, effects of, all right, the lightning and the, and all that stuff.
The
it's
lasers and all that.
Yep. It's great. It's great because, again, this is one of those things where he has specific, not only is he a natural counter for Ippo with his natural inclinations and things like that, right? Personality-wise, boxing-wise, all of that stuff, but he is the challenger. So as a result, he is specifically training to take down Ippo, right? And this is the kind of thing that Ippo just has to deal with, right? If you're the one at the top, then that means that everyone else just has extra time, extra focus, extra motivation to figure out how to dismantle you, So now he's in this situation, and yeah, the guy's tricks are working. He didn't expect Ippo's fists of thunder, right?
Right. He was basically set up in such a way to where Ippo could have just beat him in the first round there.
Right.
If he wasn't able to get away with all that cheating. Now, I like that that's something that we're going to have just in context for the rest of this fight. That Ippo should have won right then and there if the ref was basically just going to call him on all that BS.
Right.
But that's not the way we want things to go. It's less entertaining that way.
Exactly.
So let's do it this way, where Ippo is actually unable to do his infighting style. He's just not able to do it, which means really he shouldn't be able to win here.
Unless he can change that up.
Unless he can switch that up.
Right.
And it seems like this strategy is to force him to go into the Dempsey roll, because the Dempsey roll's problem is that it takes some time to wind up. But if the strength of Sawamura Ryuhei is that he can't get in range there,
then that means that
he can just leave that range a little bit, wind up the Dempsey roll, and then
wait for him to come to him, or maybe,
or start then moving in a little bit slower with that that speed and stuff there.
Yep. And then that's the thing of, okay, cool, now I can do my thing that I promised, and show you how that's actually Swiss cheese. Right?
Exactly. And then Sawamura wins out because he's like, this is what I needed.
Exactly.
I needed you to think that if you put all your energy, all your effort, all your power into those movements and stuff, and then into an actual series of punches, if I just deliver one of my lightning rights into that, you're done.
Right.
Yeah, he probably would be, given that apparently his punches are so fast, Ippo couldn't even see them.
Right.
But also, we're able to nearly knock him unconscious.
Yeah, and I love it how it's something where basically, even though both of them are prepared, like mentally prepared, they've done fights and stuff before and whatnot, they're still not fully ready for what they're actually up against because you can't be ready, right? You can prepare and all that stuff, and even have fought people that also have devastating punches. I'm looking at you, Sendo, you know. But still, when you feel it, that's still a devastating punch, you know.
Right.
It's still something that tells that makes your whole body start shouting at you, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
You know, like
Sawamura's a mix-up of Miyata and Mashiba, basically. He took kind of the hybridization of both of their strengths and brought them into his own. And of course, then he would be able to just mess with Sendo, because Sendo is just Ippo. They have the exact same style, except for a few technical abilities that they can draw upon at any given time. But in this case here, given that Ippo has all this battle experience defending his title for all these times, he has speed that is able to dodge the bullet punch, which is awesome because then it basically shows, okay, if the damage that Ippo did to him in the first round isn't able to be fully recovered from, which it might have been, based on the way he kind of finagled his stuff with the referee and his corner coach.
Right, I could see that coming into play a little bit later.
Yeah, like it might take a lot more time before it actually comes into play.
Right, it might not be something where it's immediately causing trouble because Ippo hasn't been able to apply additional pressure there, you know. But if he comes up and keeps giving those liver blows and is able to make them connect, he'll probably start to remember some of the punishment you've already done.
Yeah, the liver blows in general, it did seem like he was going for that same spot because that's the spot that Ippo is able to expose rather well when someone guards up here.
Right, and hence Mashiba pointing out, like, no, get in there and break two or three of his ribs.
Yeah, like, and then the fight will basically be over if he just draws it out over the long period of time.
Yep.
But what I like here is that the combination of Ryuhei's character that basically says, no, I need to wait to tenderize him up a little bit before I go in, is also the thing that's actually keeping him technically sound as a boxer. That would actually be like this. But he's basically maintaining his defense.
Right.
He's not going in off of those moments where he's, got Ippo like off the hook.
It's giving Ippo more chances to beat him at his own game, but it's also saying that when I finally do go in for the kill, it's going to have a higher chance of working because the biggest problem that people have had when fighting Ippo is that they go in for the kill and it just doesn't end up working, and then Ippo manages to turn things around. Right.
So I have to admire the tenacity that he has to basically go and say, no, I'm in this for the long haul. I will crush you. I will obliterate you.
Yep.
Which means that Ippo is not going to catch this guy making really dumb mistakes. And that's the kind of thing where I thought the part that would be kind of his undoing is that he's too focused on the way he has to beat Ippo, not that he beats Ippo.
Yeah, I can see that.
In this case, Ippo, you might have had your chance, and now for the next few rounds, you're just gonna have to analyze his pose, his fighting stance, and all that, and be like, where are his holes? Are there any?
Yeah, I'm curious if Ryuhei would ever get this particular lesson taught to him through Ippo or otherwise. But playing with underhanded tactics.
Oh, okay.
That definitely helps. You've been able to use them very, very effectively, right?
We've seen it used by other boxers too.
Right. And in this match in particular, they're very good to have in your arsenal. But what if he ended up realizing that, because I use them so often, I'm actually not fully testing myself.
Oh, sure.
I'm I need to go into training with weights on, of actually sticking by the rules. No, you can't just do these things to get out of these situations. You have to come up with more creative solutions to these problems. Now, granted, he hasn't done that up till now. Character reasons totally make sense. Why would he start now? And he certainly wouldn't want to start in this match with Ippo. But
no, definitely not.
Because this is where he needs to bring out literally every trick he has because he is the challenger after all.
Yep.
But I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he realized, you know, I might have actually been able to bring more to the table for this fight if I hadn't been so...
It seems like a post-match realization, though.
It totally could be. And
it doesn't seem like something he would bring up in the middle of a match.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely not.
He's going to be having so much fun.
Oh, yeah, he's focusing on, he's at that point where, the steak's right in front of him, you know?
And he's finishing up his appetizer.
And it's like being cooked right in front of him, and he's like,
cooked right in front of him.
And he's catching, he's taking some bread and, catching the excess juice or whatever and being like, ooh, just a little bit more, you know.
Keep teasing me. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So
yeah,
I'm curious to see how this goes because he's established a really good rhythm. Like he has Ippo, even if not technically on the ropes. He's beating him right now, right? This is what he does to beat him. It's systematic, right? Mm-hmm. How does Ippo change that up? I feel like it'll just end up coming down to the Dempsey roll and juking him, but you know, how long can you do that, right?
Well,
so as long as he has to.
Yeah, in some ways here, what I think Ippo has realized is probably the wrong thing.
Oh.
In that if he can just get 2 big punches in there, he should win. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that was basically that limited window where he did get a couple big hits in there. And if he had gotten 2 more big hits, then the match would have been over. But now it's a thing of where he has to either swallow his pride a little bit and beat him either by points, which would be actually a huge development for Ippo to be able to be like, no, I'm not going to play your game. And he tries to piss off him
that way he comes at him stupid. Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just kind of walk towards me. Mm-hmm. No, there's no way Ippo will ever do that unless something.
He's the champion. He wants, and because of what happened with Kumi, he's like, I am beating the shit out of you, right?
Yeah,
I am taking you down, right?
But I think at this point he might already be behind on points, depending on how they do the points.
Oh, maybe,
stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, and one of the other things,
not be able to do that,
Ippo, I admire your spirit. I like your moxie.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing.
Yep.
He's more used to fighting with that kind of aggression than you are.
Yep.
Like this is the kind of thing where it's the internet troll, right? And if you go down to their level, they'll beat you with experience, right? So remember the basics, right? Mm-hmm. Just remember the basics. You got this. You're a higher level than he is, right? He might be your direct counter, but your numbers are bigger, right? So if you just stick to that, then hopefully...
Yeah, what Kamigawa was saying.
Right. Then you should be able to beat him.
Yeah. But I like the idea also of this coming down to a basics match, because that's how I envision the ending being.
Sure, okay.
That it just basically is the two of them having taken so much damage that it's just who can just, stick with their basics and just deliver consistent, half-assed punches in their weakened states, to each other in a way that actually connects.
Right. Consistent like you were doing at the beginning, Ippo. I loved that it was something where Sawamura was like, oh, okay, that's what he can do. All right. And then he's like, all right, I got it this time. No, you don't. And then Ippo still almost like the same animation even, just manages to break through his guard, liver blow, oh God, and then rinse, repeat.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen anytime soon, though, because of this new stance.
Right, the momentum's been shifted, and he's in the different stance and everything, so... Yeah.
And Date bringing up the actual physical impossibility or implausibility of him being able to do the equivalent of a Latin America corkscrew punch, apparently, but it's more of just a bullet.
Right, with his left repeatedly.
With his shoulder, though.
Yeah.
The idea that he's actually almost quickly dislocating it almost to just do this punch, but it's not a dislocation, obviously, but...
It feels very like Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch.
Yes. So what I wanted to draw a connection with his backstory was something like that.
Oh.
But it's that when he was thinking about how he would snap back against his dad, it was probably the thing of where he's like, stay back.
Sure. This is a strategy for fighting somebody that is stronger than you.
Well, someone who's not expecting you to fight back also.
Oh, okay.
Meaning that if you hold out your hand and it's like, please stop, don't do this.
And then it quickly goes
quickly show from being like, I'm weak, don't do this, to bam, I punch you. and have it actually do serious damage. It needs to be explosive, quick beyond imagination. But it also, in some ways, is the bluff of no, and then
and then once they're surprised by that, then you take the knife that's in your right hand and
yes, exactly. But also the idea that this is something that couldn't have been taught, which means that the physical capacity for him to do this had to come during his formative years.
Yeah, the human body is an amazing thing.
It adapts rather well.
With proper motivation.
Yes, exactly.
Crazy things can happen. Reality is stranger than fiction. I absolutely believe that something like this could happen because on some fundamentally deep level, right, his body was just like, all right, for my own survival, I have to do this.
I have to become this.
I have to become this, so then it does, right? And it worked, right? It saved him from the situation that he was in. Now it's just, how do you turn that off?
Yeah.
Right?
To be fair, there is also the possibility that he straight up just, came at him while he was asleep with a knife. And
oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
I would love to hope in some ways that, actually, there's not really much you can really.
It's a
It's a screwed up situation on multiple levels, no matter how the kid gets himself free of that.
Yes.
So, next episode's called The Perfect Dempsey Crusher. So, Ippo's going to go for the Dempsey.
Ippo's going to go for the Dempsey, which is like, all right,
let's
cool.
Let's
see how this goes.
Maybe it works once, maybe he catches him with that little, jerk bit, and it catches him just the slightest bit, so he's able to survive maybe a few more rounds.
But the recoil on that bullet is so fast.
Right. But that's the thing. If Ippo can mess up the momentum and he misses one or two of them on his way in.
Yeah, because if he doesn't understand Ippo's timing, like the surprise of just the fact that it happens could throw him off potentially a bit so that he's able to get close. And what we do know, what has been firmly established, is that he cannot take Ippo's punches. Because who can, right? So if Ippo starts connecting, the fight's basically over, assuming it doesn't go long enough that Ippo can't throw actually strong punches.
Right.
So if he gets it to work, he can do this, right?
Oh, you know what's a way that this could work? He might abandon this pose in preparation for the specific counter that he's got against the Dempsey roll, which means that Ippo could switch back in the middle of this.
Ooh.
Into a regular basic style and basically do a Dempsey feint.
That sounds crazy.
Where he basically has to wind up and basically see that moment where he shifts stances in preparation
and then just use that as a way to just dash forward.
To lunge in and do a gazelle punch. Like something along those lines. And then it becomes basically the mind games of the stances.
I mean, that would be
constantly switching back and forth.
I am kind of curious how all of the forces at play interact.
Work on the body
with the Dempsey because I would think that as you're going from side to side, right, you have to be incredibly firmly planted because you're going directly from one leg to the other, right? But what if at the point when you're going onto one leg, you then step forward with the other leg?
Well, that's what he has to do to go in. That is what he has to do to go in. He doesn't do the Dempsey roll
and then just
only standing in one place.
Right, in one static position, right?
And also that's not how the real Dempsey roll was either.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It was a 1, 2, 3. It was like do. And on the way to his boxer, he was also usually going up because he was so short.
Right.
But in this case, Ippo does plant himself when he's winding up.
Right. But
then he carries that momentum into his steps.
Right. And I'm curious to see what kind of potential mobility things or whatever he could throw into the Dempsey roll potentially improvised in this match because this is no plan survives contact with the enemy, So he has the whole juking thing, but is there any special flair that he can even put on that to surprise Sawamura after he uses it the first time?
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah. So, y'all, crazy start for the match here. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
Yes, info is in the description.
Yes, if any that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.